A new Alien movie is in the works, guys. We're talking movie news. Welcome to Mirror Domain's Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. This is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the big horror movie news headlines of the week. This is the Horror Weekly, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about a bunch of sequels. Red State 2, Constantine 2, Megan 2. The first one isn't even out yet. Come on. Smile 2 is possibly in the works. We're going to talk about spoilers for The Menu. And I watched a movie this morning called The Wonder that we'll talk about. It's not really a horror. It's more of like a psychological kind of thing. But I want to get it off my chest. And we'll start off today's show by talking about the new movie, or a new Alien movie, because we do movie news here, guys. Movie news. You got that, YouTube? This is for movie news people, right? Okay, let's take a look at this headline for their new Alien movie. That, James, this is like the second day in a row you didn't set up Chrome. I'm sitting here waiting for everything to go, and I didn't set up my Chrome in my OBS. But anyway, Kaylee Spaney is in talks to star in Fade Alvarez's Alien franchise film. Okay, well, if you don't know who Kaylee Spaney is, I guess she was in that horrible and awful Pacific Rim sequel. But she was also in the Craft sequel, so that was kind of cool. I liked her in that, but I guess she's going to be in this movie from Fade Alvarez, who also did things like the sort of soft reboot of The Evil Dead, new Alien franchise film. Okay, so it's been months since Evil Dead Don't Breathe, and yeah, he did Don't Breathe. We'll both write and direct the new Alien movie for Ridley Scott and the 20th Century Studios. Okay, Deadline reports that Kaylee Spaney is in talks to lead the film. Spaney has been the top choice for the lead role for some time, following several meetings with producers and Alvarez. The project is described as an original standalone feature, and it is expected to feature the iconic xenomorph aliens. Well, of course. You're going to make an alien movie without an alien in it. That would be pretty audacious, right? Anyway, it was just a really good story with a bunch of characters you haven't seen before. So it's not going to follow the Ripley storyline. It's not going to follow the android David storyline from Prometheus, which is okay. That's fine. I got no problem with that. Let's see what some comments are here. Maker of the best dragon tattoo. I don't know about that. Fade take on the Alien franchise should be something to watch. His Evil Dead remake was top notch. Okay, so some people are like that and they don't like Don't Breathe. I probably missed it, but does anyone know if Ridley will get to finish his Prometheus David trilogy? Well, that's the tough one. I don't know. Probably not. There have been reports a while back that Disney wants to, but who knows if that's still the case. Very, very doubtful, because Alien Covenant really rubbed people the wrong way, right? Actually, me too. I hated Alien Covenant. And as you know, you heard me say many, many times, I actually came around a little bit on Alien Covenant. And as far as this casting choice, this Kaylee Spaney, I think that's a good choice. I hope it's more about some more Space Marines or something like that, or some people crash land on one of their planets and get, attacked by the xenomorphs, or find themselves in this is from the Craft. Yeah, she was pretty good in that. She was the standout for me though. This girl, I forgot her name. Adlon, Gideon Adlon or something was her name. Anyway, but Kaylee Spaney there. David Duchovny. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. About that part. I liked the Craft legacy. I did, and she was a good actress in that. So if she's going to be in a new Alien movie, why not? I think that would be pretty okay. She's going to be in that new Sofia Coppola movie, Priscilla, playing Priscilla Presley. It's about Elvis and their relationship and stuff like that. So that'll be an interesting casting. Her resume is getting up there. But what do you guys think about that? A new Alien movie. No talks as of yet as to when it's going to be shooting or when it's going to come out. I would suspect that if it's coming together, they want to be in front of the camera as early 2023. So maybe 2024 perhaps is when this would come out. 20th Century and Scott Free made this a top priority after hearing Alvarez's pitch. Yeah, apparently it was a good pitch. Yeah, Scott Free is producing. Things gain speed in the film in front of the cameras. Yeah. Early 2023. New Alien film? Interesting. I want that. I do want that, for sure. It would be nice to catch up with the Alien SFX. Yeah, that would be cool too, because they can do a whole lot more. Hopefully there will be no peeking behind the curtain showing alien handlers or inventors. Yeah, because that's the David Android storyline of where the aliens came from and stuff like that. And I didn't mind the mad scientist angle. I just wish we got more of it. It was just kind of like, that was the favorite part for me of Covenant. Okay, guys, let me just set up here for the menu. We're going to talk about spoilers here for the menu. And that's not the menu, that's the wonder. All right. And we'll get into this, because I did my non-spoiler review right now yesterday. So that's up on the channel now. You got my straight out of the theater reaction. Ralph Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult. So the menu. Let's get into this with some spoilers here. Actually, let's just go over to the IMDb and take a look at what the synopsis was. Just a quick recap of the synopsis. A young couple travels to a remote island to eat in an exclusive restaurant where the chef has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. And, well, since we are talking about spoilers, let's talk about these two because they are the main characters, Anya Taylor-Joy and Nicholas Hoult. Now, I said this in my non-spoiler review here that I'll reiterate. Because it's a movie that takes place in the course of one night, you got to condense some character development, right? You got to put their quirks become just kind of like a representation of who they are as a person, right? So Nicholas Holt's he's a foodie, he's over the top, he's very controlling, he's anal. He's a character you're not supposed to like, right? And you're like, well, why is Anya Taylor-Joy with this guy? He had invited a previous guest, and she's taking over that for that previous guest because she dropped out, or you don't really hear exactly what happened. They just didn't work out. So he invited her in the place. So when she shows up at this island, Ralph Fiennes and the rest of the crew are kind of like, who's this person? What's going on here? Because they had this lavish menu planned out for these specific people because they are going to kill them, right? Now, if that wasn't obvious in the trailer, I didn't say that in my normal review, but since we're talking spoilers, they're going to kill everybody. And Nicholas Holt's character knew this. He knew this before going to the island. Not all the guests did, though, but he knew. And for some reason, I think maybe he tried to save the previous girl by saying, no, I don't want that girl to die. I'll bring this other girl who, from one part of the dialogue, you hear her talking about her being a call girl, kind of like in that kind of work. Because between her and Ralph Fiennes, they've got some really, really awesome interactions. If she was working as not a sugar baby or anything like that, but kind of like just as a company, servicing someone. They have a cool conversation in there about servicing people because he's a chef. He also services people, and he's lost his passion for the work, mostly because of just the way that the industry has unfolded with all of these elite socialites that come in and just say, this tastes like this. Oh, I don't like that. This emulsion is broken. We should maybe send it back. Maybe we shouldn't pay for the full price for this food. That's very well crafted and stuff like that. But you can tell that, yeah, the main theme here is that he's pretty much lost his passion for this, and he wants to take it out on people that have done a disservice to the service industry, right? To the art behind making food. But what's kind of eerie about it is that all of these other undercooks have signed up for this, because there's definitely that cult mentality going on. And that's very obvious in the beginning of the film when they go into the barracks and it's very much like almost like a military setup, right? With the bunks, and it's kind of like, ooh, all they do is cook and prepare food and sleep, and they're very collected, and you saw that in the trailers. But yeah, Ray Fiennes has got a couple really good monologues where he opens up and talks about these kinds of things, some preparation and stuff. And I like how it ended too. I really like how it ended, because basically he tries to see if what kind of a person she is, right? If she's a good person or a bad person, by testing her. Do you want to be with us? Do you want to die with us, like the servers, or do you want to die with them, the people that are takers, and just kind of like, poo-poo all over everything? And then she challenges him. There's a great scene where she challenges him to try to cook something that he's passionate about, and that's like in the climax, and it was so well done. I'm thinking about it. It's given me. I've had a couple days now to sit on it, and I think you need that with the menu, right? You need to be able to sit back and go, because it is kind of jarring. It's a bold idea, right? This chef who's just kind of like at his wit's end, prepares this lavish menu with the intent of killing everybody there to make the statement about art, that art form and stuff like that. It was just, wow. And Ray Fiennes does such a fantastic job of portraying that kind of off character. Because you don't really know things are going off the rails until one of the sous chefs kills himself in front of everybody. So that's the start of the film. They go to the island. This lady here is kind of like the maitre d', the head host kind of thing that escorts everybody through the island and details everything for them. But yeah, even in the trailer, you see him asking, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Right? Who are you? I'm Margot, and because he doesn't want to kill innocent. He doesn't want to kill an innocent person, right? Because all these other people, you find out more about these other people. They've done bad things. Like these people have embezzled money and stuff like that. This person was in a really kind of in an alcoholic situation and stuff like that. He's meticulously not investigated, but researched these people, right? Well, I guess sort of investigated, I suppose. And then, yeah, there's this scene where all the men are going to get hunted down. And that went a little bit different than I thought. I thought maybe they would find them and kill them. And the thing with the scissors, too, that was kind of weird. There was a story there about him having to stab his dad in the leg with some scissors as a young man because his dad was an abusive alcoholic and stuff like that. So that's a reoccurring theme that shows up a couple times. And then how his see that candle? He says that he's worked in the kitchen for so long that his hands have become so hard that he can pick up a hot pan with his hands. He doesn't need like an oven mitt or a cloth and stuff like that. So he demonstrates that towards the end. That's pretty much how he kills them all. He just takes a flame, a coal kind of in his hand, and just throws it down. And the building that they're in they can't get out because it's got like bulletproof glass and stuff like that. So they all kind of like char. They all burn to death. But Ray Fiennes does a good job. Nicholas Hoult, Anya Taylor-Joy is a standout. Hong Cho is the maitre d' there kind of thing. And these are socialite characters. But when it's pretty graphic when the guy blows his brains out, kind of thing. And that was just kind of like his understaff. That's just for us as the audience. They did that to show us that everybody, all the cooks there are, they're following him no matter what, because he is the artist. They all aspire to be like him. And when the guy blows his brains out, it's kind of like everybody's sitting around. Is this theater? Is this real? Because they're that level of ignorant about what's really going on, right? It was actually really well done. And in hindsight, I like the menu. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10, right? I think I might even bump that up to 8.5 out of 10. It was a really good theater experience. Let's go over and see what the Rotten Tomatoes say about this. Arglass Vikings in the live chat says it feels like the menu could have easily been an M. Night Shyamalan tale, like the sound of it. Maybe, but I kind of actually like the way that it was handled. Because at first it was a little bit, maybe it was how jarring it was that I didn't, I thought it wasn't well executed. But now in hindsight, that's the thing about movie reviews, right? Because when you go see something, there's like a shine to it, and you got to let it sit and stew a little bit. Sorry to use a food reference about the menu, but you kind of have to, right? And then you realize, the performances were good. It was shot well. It had a message to it. It was saying something about art and how art can get degraded and lost through people's criticisms, which I sort of did about the movie. But now I'm taking that back. I'm retracting it. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. 89% by the critics there on Rotten Tomatoes, 81% by the audience. So people are going out to see this. And we'll just take a quick snapshot review in case this is your first time here. Let's take a look at the UK Times says the Willy Wonka storyline is aped here as no one naughty guest after another faces up to their fate in a thinly disguised morality play. Morality or mortality? Morality. I don't know what. I don't. That's a positive review. The Atlantic says more food for thought than your average glossy fall thriller tends to offer. Yeah, and I like just like how things unfold. I like that. Let's take a look at a bad one here from whoever this cinema log. Credit the film for audacity, although the social commentary becomes muddled with a rather aimless takedown of wealth and capitalist privilege that doesn't give us much to chew on. Well, then you totally missed the message of the movie. You don't understand what they were going for there about how criticism and elitism fatigues the artists that are serving them, kind of thing, right? The service people under them too, because they talk about that with her. And if you could just do one more thing that you started off liking this profession, could you do one last thing? And he does for Anya Taylor-Joy before he lets her go. He doesn't kill her at the end. So he was crazy, but he wasn't all the way gone. And I kind of respected that. It was a cool final menu or final dish that he made. I really enjoyed that. But as far as the spoilers goes, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I don't need to get into each particular kill that goes down. It does get a little bit somewhat gruesome, I would suppose, for some people. But I liked it. Overall, an 8.5 out of 10 for the menu for me. I think I gave it an 8 yesterday, but yeah, now in hindsight, I'd give it an 8.5. I really enjoyed the menu, and I hope you guys go and see it. If you've already seen it, then by all means. It's definitely worthwhile seeing on the big screen for sure. Okay, what's next? Is that what's next? Okay, so we did menu. That'll get cut out and put up on the channel later on, guys. Okay, so that's just for me cutting it out later. Now, let me get set up for the Wonder. And we'll go like this. We'll do that. And I'm just setting up for the Wonder. And of course that doesn't work. So it should have. There we go. Sorry about that. The Wonder is a movie that's going to be on, that is on Netflix right now with Florence Pugh. And we'll talk about that. It's more of like a thriller. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about it. The Wonder stars Florence Pugh and is on Netflix right now, and it tells the tale of a nurse that, two strangers who transform each other's lives. A psychological thriller and a story of love pitted against evil. Well, that's a terrible plot synopsis. Basically, she's a nurse, an English nurse that goes to Ireland to to investigate this young girl who doesn't eat food. She hasn't eaten in like 4 months. So that's why it's called The Wonder, right? And she kind of comes into this situation thinking like, is it real? Should I believe what's going on? And she's tasked by the local doctor. Her and a nun are tasked to investigate this kind of situation. And I'll tell you this, it was beautifully shot. It's obscure. This guy plays a journalist who comes to also investigate the situation. The young girl does a good job in it. If you like the atmosphere of I think it was filmed in Ireland, but it was also filmed I think some of the stuff inside the houses and stuff. I think this was on a soundstage, as Kieran Hines was in it. Toby Jones was pretty cool. Toby Jones plays the doctor. And Florence Pugh does a good job in this movie. I'll tell you that. And it's out of that reason alone that I would tell you to at least check this out. The runtime is 1 hour and 48 minutes. It's a bit long. It could have been shaved down a little bit. I think it could have. I think they could have accomplished this story in about 1 hour and a half, and it would have been a little bit tighter. But here's what you need to know about this. If you are a religious person, I don't know if you are going to like this film, because there's a very religious reason why she hasn't been eating food, and why they want the nun there as well. And if you believe in how the bread turns into flesh and the wine into water, that kind of stuff, if you believe that stuff, then this may rub you the wrong way. Because certain things become clear as to what's happening in this. Is it mystical? Is it not? Is it religious kind of thing? It's definitely got that angle in there, and it could rub people the wrong way, especially how it unfolds towards the end. It has a very distinct message about that, the religious angle. And I know that perhaps some more traditional people who have more conservative values may take that the wrong way. But it is an interesting story on how it plays out. As I said, is it real? Is it not real? Why? How come she hasn't been eating food and is still around? Does she go to the washroom at all? It kind of explores these kinds of things. And then once Florence Pugh, the main character, figures out what's going on, it does go in a distinct direction that could rub people the wrong way. Tom Burke was Will Byrne, okay. Lib Wright, Florence Pugh. And there's it's a weird how they handle this. And I'll tell you why here. Because while they are definitely, I think some shots were externally shot in Ireland, I think they established the opening scene with them in a studio warehouse. And for some reason, they want to make that distinction. And I think that's because of the way that the direction of the story happens in the end. With the way that things pan out with her character especially. They want to make sure that, hey guys, this is just a story. It's not meant to totally, completely offend you, even though if you're religious, I think it will. It's kind of like, oh, I don't know if that'll work for people. And I'm curious to know what people are saying about it, about that angle. I liked it. IMDb has the rating 6.7 here. Florence Pugh was good in it. Let's go over to the Rotten Tomato score and see what they said about that. 87 by the critics, 119 reviews, 74 by the audience. So let's take some snapshot reviews here and see what people are saying. from the Independent UK. Says Pugh is very much at home in this kind of role, but it's no less arresting in its familiarity. Is that a good review? Is that good? Let's take a look at a bad one here from Polygon. The Wonder crosses a line between eerie ambiguity and aimless floundering. Okay, so yeah, some people were saying that they don't... it's ambiguous a little bit. Is it religious or is it not? Or, kind of thing. I could sort of see on that angle. Real Reviews says, despite its strong sense of atmosphere and intense performance by lead actress Florence Pugh, it's strangely uninvolving. Australian Financial Review says, it's a horror movie without the horror. Oh, Dennis Schwartz here. Do I know Dennis Schwartz? No. It satisfies as well-made a psychological thriller. But it doesn't, I thought it would have some horrific elements to it, but not really. Not really. So don't really expect a horror movie. It's genre for sure. It's a genre film for sure, but Florence Pugh does a good job. The Wonder, it's on Netflix right now. If you're bored one afternoon and you just want to check out something with a little bit more of an abstract story, but it does sort of end in a happy sort of way, maybe, sort of. I hate to be ambiguous about it. I'm talking about ambiguity. But The Wonder, I watched it and I had an okay time with it. I would probably give it a 7 out of 10 for The Wonder. Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about spoilers for that one. If you see it, and you know what I'm talking about, especially towards the end there. You know what I'm talking about, especially if you're someone of faith. Okay, let's get back into the movie news headlines. Whoops, I forgot to put my little cap. Because that'll also get cut out. Okay. Smile 2. Sorry, I'm got some weird messages here. Okay. Nothing major. Smile 2. Let's talk about this. Because I like Smile. Smile was one of the better horror movies of the year for me, for sure. Exclusive Smile clip previews the chilling bonus features because it's coming to digital release and Blu-ray release soon, right? Available to buy on digital tomorrow. And when was this? November 14th. So it's out now. Ooh, man, if I can get a copy of this, we should do a full live watch along for Smile. Yeah, I wish I could. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out where this is. So, if you haven't seen Smile, it's about this sort of like entity that follows people around. Like it'll possess people and make them smile and basically kill themselves. It's pretty brutal, actually. And I liked it. Okay, so the film will be available November 15th, so 4 days ago, from Paramount Plus. It will be on, right? Paramount Home Entertainment. Such a great and scary movie. The word horror gets thrown. Okay, so yeah, some people are kind of like, it wasn't scary, so it's not a horror movie. Well, that's a subjective kind of thing, right? What's scary to you may not scare other people, and that's why we talked about The Wonder too, right? The Wonder may not be scary for you or us. It really depends on what level of intensity you're in, kind of thing, right? Yeah, so I don't really pay too much attention to those comments. But if it's out now, the director had some things to say about it, and Smile director shares his short film that inspired the hit movie. So he made like a short of this, kind of like they did with that Lights Out kind of movie where they, remember the person was flicking the lights and that ghost thing would come up closer to them, turn the lights out or something like that. But over on IGN's Twitter, as long as Twitter's still working, you can go check out this short film. It's only like a minute and 57 seconds. It's not even that, just because it's got like his intro in there with that too. It's basically got a psychologist's office. He's asking just questions to this one girl, and she's saying this thing is following her around, and it's got a very James Wan. If you've seen that Malignant movie, the world kind of starts to change around her as this entity is creeping up on her. And they didn't do that for the movie, I don't think. The actual movie Smile. But then when the camera pans around and she's looking scared, the psychiatrist guy kind of starts to have that grin on him. And that's the short that inspired the movie Smile. Cool. Oh, so his eyes actually kind of go white there. That's kind of creepy. Smile. Wait a minute. Yeah. No, that's a different actress. I thought it was the same actress that was in the beginning of the first, in the beginning, but no, that's a different actress. On digital, November 15th. Well, that's kind of cool. Yeah. Let's go check that out on the IGN. Sinister says hello in the live chat. Hey, Sin, how's it going? We're just talking about some horror movie headlines and stuff like that. So, Smile 2. Is that a possibility? Is Smile 2? Could Smile 2 happen? Could Parker Finn gives us an enticing answer about that? This was in the movie. This was probably one of the creepier scenes. One of the more disturbing scenes. If you like animals, then you will definitely not like this scene in the movie. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what he said here about Smile 2. I made Smile, of course, to be self-contained. It's to tell its whole own story. I don't think in a million years that there would be such a demand for a sequel. But having said that, I think there are definitely things inside of the film that remain purposefully unexplored that would be very enticing to dive into. And also things that I didn't get a chance to do on the first one for either budget constraints or if they didn't quite fit in the story that I would be really exciting. I think would be really exciting. I still feel that I never want to overtly just repeat myself or do the same thing I just did, but I think that there could be a really interesting way for there to be more in the world of Smile. But something very unexpected and surprising for an audience with a lot of tricks up its sleeves. Well, you know what would be good for a Smile 2? Because the casual thing to do, the laziest thing would be that the entity survived and actually it did, didn't it? Just continues on its rampage and just have a new set of people, just like Saw movies, right? That would be kind of like the lazy kind of thing to do. But, sorry, I didn't mean to yell in the camera, in the microphone there. When I was reading this story, what I would do, and here's my little pitch, you know how the first movie was called Alien, and then the second movie was called Aliens? Why couldn't the second movie in Smile be called Smiles? And instead of one entity, there would be more. Could that work? And maybe they meet up with each other and they don't like each other. Ooh. And they use bodies to fight each other. Oh God, that would be kind of vicious. I don't know. There's something there. Because Smile worked, not only because the entity was creepy, but it had a lot to do with the main actress, Sosie Bacon. Because she had she had some other psychological trauma going on in the background that was fueling this thing. Was she crazy, or was it is it real or not kind of thing? There was that kind of question to it. And I don't know if they could reinvigorate that for a sequel. Maybe. But it was definitely creepy. So the thing about if it's going to have a sequel or not, Smile 2, it comes down to money. And when we pull up the box office for Smile, $210 million, I think it was a $17 million budget. $17 million grossing over $210 million. Yeah, you can see the studios saying, we're making another one. But it would be remaining to see if the director would come back for that, or the studio would just take it and run with it. And hopefully they don't go the sloppy road. Hopefully they try to think of something interesting. Talking about sequels, because it is a sequel day, guys. Megan 2. Megan 2 already? We haven't even seen the first one. Megan 2 already being considered after the first trailer's TikTok popularity. And yeah, the young doll that dances really creep people out. And it should, because it's disturbing. But really, they're only talking about a sequel. And this is from James Wan and Blumhouse. James Wan and Jason Blum over at Blumhouse teamed up to make this sci-fi horror film Megan, which is basically just kind of like the Chucky storyline from what I understand, but whatever. Hey, I'll watch that. But a sequel, because Megan-related posts have been viewed 300 million times on TikTok. Oh, wow. Yeah, I got a couple of TikToks up on the channel that you can see right there. Follow Mirror Domains on the social media handles, guys, and you can see some stuff up there like that. So yeah, the movie isn't coming out yet. It comes out next year, right? Early next year, February, January 6th. Sorry, January 6th. So yeah, we're starting off 2023 with the horror movie Megan. That's a great way to start off a year. But a second one, really depends on how much money it makes. Again, it's just like when it comes down to Smile 2. Let's see what the budget is for Megan. No? Oh, sorry, I put in Tugan. Financial information. The numbers. Domestic. Last. Doesn't say there. Let's see what the wiki page says. Sometimes it says on the wiki, but maybe it doesn't. I would probably say not that much. Maybe around 30 million, 30 to 40 million, 40 million at the most. There's some visual effects in there that they would do, but I think it will creep people out. People want to see this for many disturbing reasons, let alone a psychotic robot doll that kills people. The fact that it's a female too is that's what really kind of, I think that's, yeah. Megan, already be considered. Let's keep on talking about James Wan and Jason Blum, because they're talking about a merger, merging their companies, and that'll be cool for us because we're horror fans, right? James Wan, Atomic Monster, and Jason Blumhouse in talks to merge. The companies would operate as separate labels with first look deals at Universal. So it would be their company, their production companies would merge to get a better deal with Universal, which is a distribution, right? Because production houses usually don't deal with distribution. Okay. Well, we know Jason Blum, he is good at making smaller horror films on a smaller budget. James Wan comes from the Conjuring universe. We know that he's good at horror. These two pairings, they've done Megan together. So I think Megan's going to do good at the box office. Paranormal Activity, Sinister. Yeah. James Wan, Insidious. The first two partnered up with 2007's Insidious, which spawned a franchise. Yeah. A lot of people liked Insidious. Insidious 5, I haven't heard anything about recently. I know it's still in production, right, with Patrick Wilson directing. That one would be interesting, but yeah, Atomic Monster previously had a deal with Warner's, because that Warner Bros. Deal, right, kind of broke down. So now that teaming up with Blumhouse just seems like a natural kind of thing to do, because they're working together already, and Jason Blum is a smart man. Two smart guys working together to make horror movies. Why not? Can only be good for us, right? That's what I think. Continuing on with the sequel news, let's talk about Constantine 2. Director Francis Lawrence talks Constantine 2, plans to make a real rated R movie this time. Because the first Constantine was PG-13, and it dealt with monsters, demons, the devil. Satan was in it. I mean, for For crying out loud. He goes to hell at one point, and the CG work I don't think holds up as well, but that'll definitely benefit from the update in technologies. I guess the director was not happy about being forced to make that PG-13 film, right? One of the biggest things for me about the first one was we followed, per Warner Bros., the rules of making a PG-13 movie in terms of blood, language, and sexuality. And my big regret was that we have an R-rated movie that's really a PG-13 movie. So it sounds like the first Constantine, it did have like a bloodier, more gory version of it, which would be cool if they can actually get that in the second one. Again, dial back the budget a little bit. Know that, hey, if you make it good, smaller films like Smile has proven that you can make $200 million. You don't need to make it a big, loud, bombastic kind of thing, right? And if it's going to have an R, I would really have made an R-rated movie. Yeah, so he would have taken advantage of all that angles. Keanu is coming back for it, and he sounds like he's excited for it. So that's good. Teasing another new approach to the upcoming sequel. Lawrence said to The Wrap, I think John Constantine is a funny character in a dark comic kind of way, and I would want to definitely add more of that sarcastic, cynical sense of humor to the story. Yeah. A lot of people were happy about this announcement. Constantine. Around 2006, I met... we don't need to hear your life story there, man. I really liked the first Constantine. The atmosphere was just about right. The score by Tyler and Valdette, appropriate, and Keanu killed it. You could see the PG-13 glimpses left and right, but it felt sinister enough. But imagine if they could just dial that up. I think that's the way that I would like to go too. Akiva Goldsman did Batman and Robin. Yes, he did. Yeah, Akiva still gets work. The real rated R movie. A lot more blood, guts, and gore should do it. Oh yeah, and don't forget the violence. Yeah. So hopefully that comes together soon. I know that they're still working on the script, right? Keanu recently said that they're still trying to hammer out the script. But if we can get an R-rated Constantine movie, I think that would be right up there for a lot of people's alley, right? The thumbs up kind of thing. The Boogeyman 2023 Stephen King adaptation. The Boogeyman. Do you guys know about this? Stephen King adaptation has learned, well, talking about PG-13, right? So it's not going to be hard R. The Boogeyman. I don't even know if I read that. Was that in a short story? The adaptation, Boogeyman, yet, but it looks like we should be hearing what their plans are very soon because the movie received its rating. PG-13 for terror, violent content, teen drug use, and some strong language. Okay, so Dashcam director Rob Savage. The Boogeyman follows a 16-year-old and her younger sister still reeling from the death of their mother as they're targeted by a supernatural boogeyman after their psychological father has an encounter with a desperate patient in their house. Boogeyman. Let's go over and take a look at the IMDb here. Doesn't say much here. Expected 2023. Well, yeah. Who's in it? David Dostmalkian. He was just Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad. You'll recognize him. You'll recognize his face. Chris Messina. Is that the guy who plays Lucifer? Marin Ireland. Sophie Thatcher. I don't recognize a lot of these names, but okay. Madison Hugh. Yeah, so I apologize for anybody out there who's read the novels and are looking forward to this. You don't see a lot of the character names here on some of these people. You would think if it's based off of a story, their character names, people should know who they are, right? But we got a little bit of the plot there. A 16-year-old and her younger sister. So it'll be about two girls kind of like on the run, sort of, after they're being targeted by a boogeyman. Well, it's from Stephen King. You know, those are always hit and miss. He's done fantastic stuff in the past. I think most of his stuff now is starting to get adapted really, really well. Well, except for Salem's Lot, which kind of, oof, I want to see it still. I hope they don't keep it buried forever, because I want to see Salem's Lot. Okay, The Boogeyman next year, guys. We'll be checking that out. What's next? Red State 2. Red State. Kevin Smith made a movie called Red State, right? And Lionsgate has asked Kevin Smith to make a sequel to his 2011 horror thriller. Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't hate Red State. It was kind of like that. It was kind of like a variation of the, that cult taking people and killing them for their own righteousness and stuff like that. And then when the detective, it was John Goodman that was in that, right? Came in and investigated what was going on. It was really an odd take from Kevin Smith. And of course, this guy is no longer with us. He passed on. So let's just see what this is about. Smith said, well, in an interview with somebody else or something, he has a podcast. It came out somewhere. Smith said, Lionsgate was like, if we do this, would you do it again? And I was like, yeah, in a heartbeat. I mean, obviously Michael Parks is gone. Yeah, may he rest in peace. But it's just a story of crazy people with guns and stuff like that. As long as I could use John Goodman again, I could make 100 effing Red States. And I'm like, let's do it. So we're going to make one. So Smith would be on board. They asked him to do it. It almost sounds like we're going to get one. A Red State 2. But then he goes into a long diatribe about the rights issues of the first one, about the DVD rights and stuff like that. And, well, if there's going to be a Red State 2, the film, John Goodman. Really weird kind of ending to it, too, if I remember correctly. I didn't mind it. It was a lot better than Tusk. It was a weird part of Kevin Smith's career where he was making a lot of weird abstract stuff, which I respect. Some of it was just a little bit hit and miss, though, right? Would you guys be up for a Red State 2? It would be more about the John Goodman character going around and investigating these weird events. So it necessarily wouldn't have to be about cults next time. It could be about Skinwalker Ranch or, cattle mutilations or something like that. That'd be get into that kind of stuff. That would be kind of cool. With John Goodman, I'd be up for that. Red State 2, guys, what do you think about that? Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have in my slate for today. I thought, in case I just missed something, usually there's some trailers out there that have come out, but really nothing huge this week. I feel like I'm missing something. So what we're going to do is we're going to go take a look at the Joblo Rundown, because their horror headlines sometimes will get in there and let me know if I missed anything. Gremlins versus Critters Face Off. Gremlins. All the way for me. Spike. Critters was eerie for like about 30 seconds. And then the fluffiness of them it took me out of it. Addams Family, best episodes. Arglass Viking says, I missed Red State. You've piqued my interest. And it sounds like Red State would be hard to track down. The Arrow in the Head, special guest, Warlock 2, The Armageddon. Cheesy. Julian Sands as the Warlock in that one. Cheesy kills, but I liked Warlock 2, like these druids that teach somebody to fight the Warlock with very Force-like powers, like they got the Force kind of thing. Bad acting. But not from Julian Sands, though, oddly enough. Well, maybe a little bit. It wasn't very good. Sybil. Okay, horror film starring Rebecca Calder. Stranger Things 5. David Harbour is going to pour his soul into the final season. Yeah. Okay. Evil Dead 2, the game, is available for free until next Thursday. So is that like a streaming game? Is that Ash? Bones and All, Trent Reznor as Atticus Ross discuss the score. That comes out next week here in wide release. So it's about like cannibalism and stuff like that, right? It has Timothée Chalamet, who was just recently seen in Dune, and is going to be in the upcoming Wonka movie as Willy Wonka. And was it Taylor Russell, right? And we're talking about cults, like, what is it? The guy from Bridge of Spies. He's in this, right? But it's the score is going to be from Trent Reznor. Cool. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I forgot that this coming up week is like Thanksgiving in the States, right? So that's why a whole bunch of movies are coming out on the 23rd. This one included. Between that, The Fabelmans, The Glass Onion, and what is that? The Spirit World or whatever. All 4 big ones come out this week. I got to see The Fabelmans. I got to see Glass Onion, and I want to see Bones and All. Mostly because of that cannibalism angle. I'm curious about that. And you wouldn't expect that from Timothée Chalamet, but so that's cool. And knowing that Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails is doing the score, cool. Pray for the Devil Exorcism film gets December digital release. So if you've missed Pray for the Devil, guys, you can see it in December on digital. Okay. Renfield. Nicholas Hoult, is excited for people to see Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Well, we've seen set photos of him as Dracula, and we heard what he's going to be sounding like, right? Our last week he says, Gremlins versus Critters has to happen. Make it so. Critters were from space, right? They came down in a meteorite or something. So maybe it could happen. Friday Fright Nights. Watch Twisted Creature feature Greywood's plot right here. I don't know what the heck that is. Is that someone wearing a pig mask? Chalamet is a busy guy, churning them out rightly, yeah. Fire in the Sky. What really happened to this horror movie? I like that, even though that it's come out in the later years that it was just a hoax. That Travis Walton, like, didn't they, like, the group of them all conceded reason that it was fake? Very creepy movie, guys. I like it though because of that creepiness. That alien abduction scene alone is worth checking out. Like when they're doing like all the experiments on them. Yeah, who else was in that? As the lead hand, the T-1000, right? Patrick, what's his name? Yeah, he was the lead guy. Here's the thing about all these alien abduction things is, guys, for me, my BS test when it comes to like these alien abduction kind of things, yeah, D.B. Sweeney was in this too, right? He was the main guy that got kidnapped, and that's when I like this movie because of the cast. The cast do a good job with it. But one of the things that for me always gives it away is that you can tell that it's probably not real when they try to articulate what the aliens are doing. Like, why, as soon as they say that they're doing experiments on you, like probes and inserting stuff inside you, no, I don't buy it. For me, why would an alien do that? They should have the technology, just like x-rays and MRIs, just to they don't need to insert something to see inside your body. They wouldn't need to. So that's sort of like my BS meter, where I'm kind of like, no, they wouldn't do that. Now, capturing you and putting you in pods like this, I could maybe see that. But yeah, putting things down your throat and doing experiments on your body, they wouldn't need to do that. That's a very human perspective. That's what a human would do about certain things, because aliens wouldn't need to do that. And I'm not even convinced that an alien would even have a ship. Interstellar travel, I don't think it would happen in ships. That's the way that we would think about it, because we don't understand how they do it. I think they would do it they would transform, like transporting, how our bodies would get broken down into matter and energy and just shot across space. That's the way that they would do it. Why would you create a ship that would have to travel that long distance? Like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, I'm digressing here. A Fire in the Sky. Interesting headline. Hourglass Viking says, I love the movie Paul. His take on probing aliens is a riot. Yeah. Alien Daddy Issues, the UFO show. Wednesday TV review. Okay, so Wednesday comes out next. Well, actually, it comes out on the 23rd, right? So we will be doing full live watch-alongs here on Mirror Domains for Wednesday. Pay attention for that. Escape from New York sequel with Kurt Russell and coming from... well, Kurt Russell isn't confirmed yet for that Escape from New York, from what I understand. Lullaby trailer. Horror film gets December release date. Lullaby. So there's a trailer. Didn't see that. I usually like to do at least one trailer. Lullaby. Do I got the sound on for that, guys? No? Can't even see what the heck's going on. Whoops. Switching over the audio.
Who is she? Lilith. Mothers sing lullabies to keep Lilith away, but she turned it into a lullaby that summons.
Okay, so it's like I don't know, some ghoul named Lilith. Lullaby.
Eli? How do we protect
Kind of
our
creepy.
son?
She's strong, but she's not.
Hold on here. Maybe I don't know. Because you can see that they made like a costume for this ghoul, and it's kind of creepy with it. Oh, so you guys can't see that. It's kind of creepy there with it being out on the road and stuff like that. Like you've seen some of those dash cam videos of like possible ghosts out on the road and stuff. It's a little bit like that, right?
Strong, but she's not as strong as Faith.
No child is safe. Okay. All right. Yeah. Looks like it's got some interesting production values. Ooh. Was that babies? Lullaby. Huh. So that's coming out in digital on December, huh? December 16th. Lullaby. A new mother who discovers a lullaby in an ancient book and soon regrets the song as a blessing. And soon regards the song as a blessing, but her world transforms into a nightmare when the lullaby brings forth an ancient demon Lilith. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so they do give us a good look at the Lilith. See, the thing with this kind of a thing, it's kind of like you have to use it sparingly because while it's scary in flashes, it's kind of like your fear of spiders or something, or bees. You can desensitize yourself to those kinds of fears. So when you look at this and it's scary, definitely when in the flashes, but once you see too much of it, it doesn't really become scary that much because you get desensitized to it, right? So we'll have to see how that works. Yeah. All right. I think that's it for today. Guys, we're just coming up at the 1 hour mark, and I think that's all I got on the Joblo. Yeah. Inside, that's not really a horror. I hear good things about Violent Night with David Harbour as Santa Claus. beating up a bunch of home invaders. I hear good things about that. I'm going to be seeing that in December. That comes out like early December, right? Checking that out. Free movie day. Prisoner horror film The Chair starring Roddy Piper. Huh. Cabinet of Curiosities names some directors he wants for season 2. Is there going to be a second season for Cabinet of Curiosities? We watched that here on this channel. We did full live watch-alongs. I was impressed by Cabinet of Curiosities. So he does have an idea of a second season. It remains to see what the numbers are yet for it. Well, that'd be kind of cool. Boots Riley? Jay Bustamante? Okay. All right. Well, I like Del Toro, and we're going to be watching his Pinocchio soon. All right, guys, that's it for me. Enjoy your weekend, and follow us next week for more horror movie news headlines. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Having just watched Fat Man, I'm looking forward to Violent Night. Yeah, me too. This looks really good apart from the creepy babies, which I guess the premise. Oh yeah, for that lullaby. Yeah, that lullaby, it's got potential for sure. All right, guys, see you next time. Hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you on Monday for more movie news here on Mirror Domains.